It's The Local Show on News Radio 570 WSYR, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoe Advertising. Now, your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for some engaging interviews with Brian DuMond. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Maureen Davison is the shelter director at the Humane CNY. Lynn High is the chief development officer at Food Bank of Central New York. And then we'll talk with Shelley Skripnichuk, who is the owner of Danzer's German and American Gustav. We're broadcasting from the Zoe Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. And I got a story for you, Steve.
Oh my gosh, are your neighbors putting things together that's making you jealous again?
Yes, of course, there's the pool thing. But no, this is actually real. For the first time in all of my driving life, I hit a deer. Well, actually, the deer hit me, and it was a baby deer, so it was no fun to hit that deer. So I was driving
venison now.
No, I was driving through Bridgeport. We were coming back from on 31, and I said to Kelly, "Hey, look, there's a deer," and it was off to my right. It had pranced across the road. So we turned our heads for a split second, and then all of a sudden I went, "Whoa!" And I'm, pulling the trailer with the DJ equipment in it, and it was like, ba-boom, and it clipped it, and it went off, and we were all like, "Oh my gosh!" It was like that scene in Tommy Boy after they hit the deer, and we were all like, "Oh, I can't believe I hit it." It was terrible, and I don't know if it survived or not. It ran off into the field.
And died.
I'm sorry. That's terrible. I like to think of it as recuperating, and it only got clipped.
My dad used to say, there's always more than one.
Yes.
So if you see a deer, and we used to go up north a lot.
Yes,
if a deer crosses the road, slow down.
Because
there's always more. And he's absolutely right.
And it's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I've heard of stories of people just driving along innocently and they like jump off onto the hood. So
you don't know if it lived, and
I don't.
And there was no venison. So.
And the weird thing was that the next day, of course, my daughters and son were out there looking at the truck, and there was absolutely no damage to the truck. So I know I couldn't have hit it that hard, but there were all sorts of little hairs in the grill. So they were like, "Ooh, that's no fun." Goodness. But anyway, let's talk to a real man now. Brian DuMond. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. How you doing there, Brian?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, and I think this is like the second time we've had him in, physical studio. So it's cool to see you. And I like that you're sporting a nice hat there. New York Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. So folks go on. They look at this. They look on YouTube, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see that bright, never been washed Giants hat that you're wearing. That's a new hat, isn't it?
Did you get that straight from the place? Or?
It's relatively new.
The place. Okay. Tom's such a sport. The place.
Yes.
Stadium, whatever.
Yes. No. For all the grief I've taken on this show,
I was going to say,
for the New York
Giants, look the other way.
For the New York Giants being less than
perfect,
we are 4-1 this year.
Yay!
Same record as the Bills.
Right.
I mean, who would have thought? Not me. So I'm going to celebrate every chance I get.
As you should.
And you should. What happened, Brian? Because my family were big Giants fans, right? Uh-huh. So I've always associated, Syracuse football fans with the New York Giants.
Right.
When did it switch over to the Bills?
When the Giants started to stink and the Bills started to be good.
That's it, huh?
I think that's exactly it. So I'm kind of sit on the fence. All right? I root for the Bills.
Of course,
and I root for the Giants. But if the Giants are playing the Bills, then I'm all Giants.
Did you want Norwood to make the kick or not make the kick?
Well, let's put it this way. I was very happy that it went wide right.
Okay. Right? Tom has no idea what we're talking about.
Else.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tell us about Geddes. What's going on?
Geddes, we are rates continue to increase, and I have to say this is really kind of neat. We currently have I'm going to look at my notes here, guys,
you're
because
more
I
than
got
welcome to.
all kinds of gobbledygook that I got to say when I talk about numbers. But a couple of years ago, we were talking about a 3% mortgage.
Yeah, right.
No,
Okay?
Sure.
Now we're talking about a 3% CD. Now, it's incredible the changes that have happened in the world and in the country here. Yeah. But we have a 3% CD for 19 months.
Do terms and conditions apply?
Oh, there are. I have all this stuff that I got to read.
Yeah,
now,
go ahead.
Now that I've let the 3% out.
Go ahead. We'll relax.
So get comfortable here. 3% rate, 3.04 annual percentage yield. Minimum deposit is $500. Maximum deposit is $1 million. Effective September 22nd, and for a limited time, all rates subject to change without notice. Penalty may be imposed for early withdrawal, and that may reduce earnings. So those are the magic words
Thanks for coming today, Brian.
You have to say, member FDIC.
Thanks for coming to the show.
Can you believe that? But really, the regulations that are in place really are all designed so it's not misleading to the consumer.
Sure.
And
that's
so
important.
I'm not sure that all of that means anything to anybody other than they're getting 3% for a CD. And that's a big deal. 19 months.
What do you see? How much money do you see people putting into a CD on average?
Well, the average CD, I would say, is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $50,000.
Wow, that's pretty good.
You can go as low as $500. So what I tend to do, and this is in my world, is when the rates are going up like this, I set $50 or $100 aside a paycheck and let it accumulate up to $500, and then boom. Kick it over to a CD and get a little additional rate.
So why not a money market?
Well, money market is great too. That's where I would put my money as it's building. Okay, money market, you get a premium rate, so it's a little bit better than a traditional savings account,
right?
But it's liquid. Now a CD is going to tie up your money, but you're going to get a better rate. So you have to decide: do I need access to this money today, tomorrow, next week? If you do, a money market's your best bet. If you have time to set it aside, 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever it is, then a CD might be the best rate, best way to go. Because if you tie it up and then you say, oh, geez, I want to take it out now, there are penalties, as you heard when I was reading all that gobbledygook.
Yeah, but again, as you walk in and the person that you're doing that with, you make eye contact with.
Well, absolutely, and I was just going to say that, Steve. That we're talking with Brian DuMond. He's the president of Geddes Federal Savings and Loan, and these types of conversations are best had in person. You just don't want to buy things online. And I mean, if anybody's ever bought from Amazon, and I gotta put that out there. There's lots of returns. And you can't ask questions and you can't do anything. So you don't want to take your finances and go far away. You want to talk to Brian and his team, and you're accessible too. People can actually see you there at the bank and wave and all that stuff.
I put out my direct line with a thank you letter on every new account.
That's great.
It's 315-671-5921. I mean, they can call me directly. It doesn't go through the receptionist.
Sure.
It goes right to me.
Tell us about Prada Homes and Ladies Night, Brian. Ladies Night.
So we are sponsoring Ladies Night. October 20th, and we're proud sponsors. And I got some details for you here. I got all kinds of notes.
Great. Go ahead, man.
And so essentially, Prada Homes is October 13th to October 23rd. But up on Onondaga Hill, we are going to be in the Old Town Estates in the Harrington home.
Nice.
And with a Ladies' Night sponsorship.
Very good.
October 20th. Come and say hi to our folks are going to be there. They're going to have some things to hand out.
Can men come?
Most men can come, however, Steve will be excluded.
Right.
Tom's identified as a man these days. Right, Tom?
At least half the time.
Okay.
So men are welcome, but they did designate it Ladies' Night.
That's fun.
So we said, that's kind of a fun night. Let's take care of the ladies that are customers and give out something accordingly.
So still can get mortgages, still can get home equity line of credits. It's all there, and it's all at Geddes, Tom.
Excellent. Hey, Brian, thank you so much for stopping by, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
I will. Go SU, go Giants.
There we go. All right, Maureen Davison is coming up next. We're going to talk with her. She's the shelter director at Humane CNY. Next on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.